Yesterday was a pretty big day for Phighting. After quite a long time without any content or teasers that are actually understandable, the devs showed us quite a lot. We got 3 pretty big things to discuss, so let's just get into that. First, we'll talk about Sword. He's been one of the 4 fighters due for a redesign alongside Skateboard, Rocket, and Slingshot. I was under the impression we wouldn't be seeing the Sword redesign, or any of the others revealed into the Crossroads update was close to completion. So, you can probably imagine my surprise when they just suddenly dropped his full design and video footage of him yesterday. And just look at him, he's perfect. But why is it revealed out of nowhere? Unlike the other 3 fighters due for redesign, Sword is also due for a rework. So I imagine that unlike the other redesigns, we'll see this one in-game before the Crossroads update. I don't see any other reason to reveal Sword's redesign like this if that isn't the case personally. But what does the rework mean for Sword? Well, it's not actually any changes to his kit, but instead targets his passive, which I think is for the best. With the exception of Lunge, Sword has a pretty balanced kit. His passive is the main issue, because it encourages Sword to play more brain dead, as it makes him too self-sufficient for how good his damage and mobility is. As for what that new passive is, from what I've heard, it'll be a meter that once full allows Sword to use a stronger version of any of his cooldowns, including his finisher. Think something like Cloud's Limit Break from Smash Bros. I think the idea sounds really fun personally, but with how strong Lunge is right now, I admittedly am a bit worried about it. Now, moving on from Sword for a tiny bit, a little while after the reveal of Sword's redesign, we were also shown some brand new footage of new Crossroads. I don't really have much to say about this besides that it just looks so insanely good. It is a massive leap in quality from current Crossroads, and honestly, just exploring this new version has easily been what I look forward to the most in Phighting for a good while now. The only noteworthy things I can get from this video is stuff that is still just about Sword, mainly because I don't feel like talking about every piece of art I see in new Crossroads. First of all, not really important, but the metal mohawk is no longer welded to Sword's head, but is instead just a part of his helmet. Logically, I get why this is the case, but I'm definitely gonna miss that stupid lore fact. But more interestingly is that before the UI is disabled when the footage cuts, you can see a meter on the crosshair displays 0 out of 100. This is likely due to Sword's rework and means that you'll need to deal at least 100 damage to gain access to a powered up move. I then realized the same UI is present in the video Aiden showed that had actual footage of some of Sword's moves, which was posted before the Crossroads video. However, despite Aiden dealing damage with Sword's finisher, the meter doesn't move, which likely means that just like his current passive, it'll only be contributed towards on M1 hits. And that's all we have for Sword's redesign in new Crossroads. But there's still one last thing left. Now, the last thing shown before they would stop posting teasers for the night was an image of Broker in the center of a black rectangle with the dates 7/13 and 7/21 on it. At first, I and many others just assumed that this was about the Broker plush, which was confirmed to be half right, but before that was even the case, Aiden would clarify, this is game related. And everybody instantly went to the same thing, a new festival. I will never understand how that became the first idea people had. Okay, I get it, kind of. It's summer, and this is when the devs get a lot more free time, and on top of that, we haven't had a festival since February, so now it makes sense, right? Well, yeah, but also, when has a festival as of recent been announced like this? And on such short notice? Plus, why the hell would they use Broker to tease it? Now then, what is this? Well, it's the apparently forgotten evil version of festivals. A frenzy. I can't exactly blame people too much for forgetting that these exist. There hasn't really been any major hints for them besides Aiden saying one might happen during the summer, and we are approaching a year since the last one occurred. These are basically just festivals, but there's no team. It's everybody for themselves, and the event is focused around a deity. Last time we had Darkheart, who brought us Mix Up Madness, which is basically just the random fighter bonus round currently in Phighting, but Darkheart is active the entire round, which led to stuff like this just happening out of nowhere. But what's most interesting about this to me is that Broker seems to be the main guy for this frenzy, but of course he isn't a deity, which makes me think we might be seeing our first non-sword fight on the Heights theme's deity. Broker is a member of the True Eye cult, which is centered around Overseer. This could potentially be his first appearance. Or I'm just reaching, and Broker is hosting the frenzy. It's probably that, so don't get your hopes up for Overseer. Or the eviler third option. It is neither festival nor frenzy, and this is just a new event related to broker. I doubt it, but hey, anything can happen, right? And that's about everything going on for fighting right now. This year is looking to be a pretty good one for the game. And don't forget that on top of all this, we still have other big things to look forward to, such as Fighter 15 and Zuka Shop. That's all for now. See you later.